LFC Jamie 94 said, one problem with Klopp is he has an underdog mentality and he likes having excuses when things don't work. Again, Jamie, a lot of people might push back and disagree with you, but I don't. I agree with you. And I don't think that's a bad thing either. I mean, Klopp is great in a lot of ways, of course, but nobody's perfect. And I don't know. I know there's probably a certain rush and a thrill out of bringing through younger players and hoping to win things, but I've said for years now, and I can only repeat myself, my fear is that we look back on 10 years or 11 years of Jurgen Klopp and we have one of each trophy. And look at the season we were chasing the quadruple. Nobody can tell me that that didn't feel like an anticlimax to the season. Yes, we won an FA Cup. Yes, we won a League Cup. Yes, we were in a Champions League final, but we lost the big ones. We lost the league. We lost the Champions League final. I'm sick of being the plucky loser. I want Liverpool to go and start collecting more trophies. And we don't know what next season's going to bring. We don't know what Todd Bowley and Chelsea might do. We don't know how strong United might become. We don't know what way Spurs are going to go. We don't know what way City are going to go. So this kicking the can down the road shit, I feel like every year that goes by, the chances we have to catch up or push ahead, we're not taking. And we should be capitalising right now on a lack of money from some of the top clubs where we will have access to that money and can act in the window. Queen Nadra says, except Mo, everybody else is injury prone in our team. Imagine our rivals sign players and we're here. Something happened every window. So for me, you can't even use Joe Gomez now as an option at centre back, because right now Joe Gomez is either Trent cover or is our left back. So until Robbo's back at the end of January, we don't have that option now. So our centre back situation is basically Kwanzaa, Kanade and Verge. That's not going to get us through. It just isn't. Nat Phillips, there's a reason he's not well admired up in Celtic or hasn't got a permanent move elsewhere. So if we're expected to believe that nobody else wants to buy him and he hasn't performed well at Celtic, that he's suddenly going to be good enough for Liverpool in a title race, I'm sorry, with all due respect to Nat Phillips, I'm not buying that. So yeah, we don't have options. One injury there and we're screwed again. Don't stress, Reece Williams has been called back from loan. Yep, where he wasn't getting a single kick of the ball, but again, we're supposed to believe he'd be good enough for us in the long term. Not spending money in January has nothing to do with ownership and more to do with Klopp. So, I get where you're coming from, Jamrock, and yes, he has said many times that he isn't the biggest fan of the winter market, but I just don't want... do you know what? I'm going to be honest, Jamrock, mate. I'm just sick of excuses. I'm sick of falling short. I'm sick of having to make do. And if that makes me petulant, arrogant, entitled, I don't really care anymore. We have 2.5 years left with the best manager I've had in my lifetime, and nobody's going to convince me that we're not better off getting a centre-back in this window. And I don't care if Jurgen comes out and says that it's a stupid idea to get a centre-back. He's wrong. And he's been wrong before. And his stubbornness led to Arthur Melo. Now, people don't want to hear Klopp criticised, and I get that. And there's so much to love about the man. But he shit the bed there. And it cost us. And we are in the Champions League. And that rushing around at the last minute when everybody was telling him that a midfielder was needed. Fans were screaming. And again, we were given the child of Christmas analogies and all these other cheap digs. But ultimately, we were right and he was wrong. Arthur Melo was a waste of time, was a waste of money. And look where we are this season. We're in the Europa League. So sometimes the manager needs to be saved from himself. And somebody needs to stand up and say, Jurgen, titles are there to be won, fella. Go after it. Doesn't make you petulant. I agree with you. However, he's extremely stubborn in the way he wants to build a team. Yeah, but doesn't mean he's always right, though. And again, I'm pushing back on you, mate, because we're just having the conversation. I'm not, having a dig at you. But he's not always right. Nor am I. Nor are you. Nor are FSG. Nor the chat. But we've rolled the dice twice. I keep saying this. We've done this in January twice, and it's never really been a success. So, hoping and praying that we're not going to have an injury-riddled second half of the season is just, it's just pig-headedness, in my opinion.